Hi everyone. We've made some changes to the DMAS 99 for the last time this week. And hopefully those changes are going to make it a little bit easier for everybody. So moving forward, let's go with Service Facilitator Dashboard, add a session, complete a review. I think everybody's kind of got that down now. Then you want to find your person, and let's find Val Test. And I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and you will choose the word that's in blue, continue. I'm using the keyboard so you can see my little arrow pointing. Let's talk about all of these screens that you're coming up with. All of this information needs to be updated. Some of it pulled over from Loris and some of it didn't. But it's important that it's completed before you get to the signature on that 99. And because the 99 is like a receipt, if you haven't completed this information, it's not going to be on the 99. And you can't go back and pull it up when you get home, complete this information, and expect it to pull over, because it won't. Again, the 99 is like a receipt. You can't get a receipt from Target, then go back to Target and add applesauce and expect the applesauce to show up on that first receipt. You're going to get a separate receipt. So these screens are updating the individuals or the members' case file, everything that we have on that member. So it's imperative that these screens are updated before you do that 99. Now, once it's updated, it's there. Next time you pull it up, it's there, no worries. You don't have to think about it twice again. Except for every 6 months on a 6-month reassessment. A 6-month reassessment is just that. It is a reassessment. You're supposed to go through and update if there are any changes to the status of the individual. We need to update at that time. So you're going to go through, and a lot of this up here that you're going to see is not filled in. You just need to complete it, fill it in. We'll go through each field, each screen. Fill it in. This is one in red that I want you to look at every single time, not just at a 6-month routine, because it affects their authorization. You need to ask them each time you see them if their MCO has changed. I have Aetna as your MCO. Is that still the same? If it's not, you need to let Tammy know immediately, because we have to ask for a new authorization from the new MCO. Otherwise, their attendants aren't going to get paid, and they're going to be calling you 30 days later, yelling at you because their attendants aren't going to get paid, and then you're going to have to spend 30 to 45 minutes trying to figure out why. So to prevent all of that, just ask them each time if their MCO has changed. We'll go to the next screen. Again, complete everything. Just a word, residence, marital status, race, language, all of that is required under a level of care review that is reported annually to DMAS. We don't have to do those anymore. Centra is doing them for HIP and DMAS clients or straight Medicaid clients. However, and the rumor mill, and I don't know how certain this is going to be, we may have to start doing them again. So gather this information just to have it. Otherwise, you're going to be scrambling. We have to do this again, and you got to go back and find it. So you're there. And you probably know the answers to these questions without even asking them, obviously. Down here in blue for service facilitator information only, it is just for your information only. Just so you know, when they came to us, were they new to CD services or not? Were they a case transfer or not? If they were, who do they transfer from? Is there a patient pay involved? It would be here. This is just for your information, not necessarily or not for you to complete, which is why it's a different color. It's just for your information. You want to make sure that the provider is listed and this box is checked. They populate in 2 different areas, so it's important that they're both checked. On this screen, a lot of this information came over from Loris, a lot of it didn't. It depended upon if there had been any changes from the initial input of that client into the Loris system from a year and a half ago. If the information did come over from Loris, it came over in a different format that Ruby was able to read. So to get around that problem, we have a little information here, a little I button for information. If you click onto that, it says for bathing is performed by others. So you would know you could come and you could choose performed by others for bathing and that they need help. Dressing, the same. Mechanical help, human help, physical assistance. Mechanical help, human help, physical assistance. So whenever you see a little information button, you'll know that that's information coming over from Loris if it came. If it did not come, you need to ask the questions, complete the information. You need to make sure that needs help is checked if there is a dependency, if they need help. If they do not need help, maybe they don't need help in transferring, then you're going to choose needs no help and uncheck this. This box, the needs help box, populates on the plan of care, and the level of help that they need populates on the 99, which is why it's important to check both. We'll come over. Again, do they need help with supervision of medications, range of motion exercises, ambulation, turning, changing position, grooming, general supervision. If general supervision is checked, then we must have a DMAS 100 for supervision form or a P257 for DD supervision form. Instrumental activities of daily living, IADLs, what they need help with. And don't just go through and check every single thing. Do they need help with it or do they not? If the individual is 6 years old, they probably don't need help with money management. Mom and dad's taking care of that for them. Mobility, again, there's an I. You can see in Loris, their mobility was defined as confined, does not move about, which we've checked here. Continency, same for bladder and bowel. You can see what they were in Loris and populate accordingly. Incontinent, SE is self-care, right? Okay, so we move on. Behaviors, orientation, again, if it came over from Loris, it would be there. The description as to what, and if their behaviors were appropriate, then you wouldn't see a description here, but you would see a source. Someone has to tell you whether it was garnered from the UAI, from the parent, from themselves, from the EOR, from the primary caregiver, that their behavior is appropriate. And the same for orientation. If they are disoriented in some spheres sometimes, what sphere? It's a drop down. And where do we get that information from? Medication administered, joint motion, they're both drop downs. We'll move forward, their level of care. And a little confusing, sometimes people get confused about this if you're brand new to this. Let's say is bathed. Jane is not going to get a bath unless somebody bathes her. She can take a bath with human help or human help and mechanical help, meaning somebody's got to run the correct water temperature for her, maybe prompt her to wash. Maybe you got to get in there and wash her hair or it's not going to get washed. But she can help herself in the bath with your help. She can do something for herself. If she can't do anything for herself, then it's number 2, the score number 2. And the same with dressing, eating, walking, transferring. Now, continency, that's a little different. 0 score if they're continent or they're incontinent less than weekly, semicolon, hesitation, self-care. So if they're incontinent less than weekly and it's self-care, meaning that they can take care of their own accident, then it would be a score of 0. If they're incontinent greater than weekly, or they are not self-care, meaning they're continent, but they can't wipe themselves after a bowel movement, then they're not self-care. We'd mark it as a 2. Remember, score C, and only score is it only a 9 or above, and is the key word, there's a medical nursing need, such as the G-tube. So if they scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that doesn't automatically put them up to score C just because they're dependent hugely on everything. Because it has to be a medical nursing need along with that as the G-tube. So if you'll notice, level of care B is still score 7 to 12, maximum 30 hours a week. So the key difference between B and C is a G-tube feeding or another medical nursing need that can be documented. That's a biggie. A lot of people get that wrong. Answer the questions about PERS. Therapies, durable medical equipment. It's really important to list their durable medical equipment here. Well, first of all, therapies, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. They're going to rehab once a week for knee or shoulder. I've seen some swim therapies, things of that nature that are helping them through an issue. It's important to put durable medical equipment here also because it paints the picture to the authorizing agent of the extent that they need help. If you put this before an MCO and they didn't see wheelchair, shower chair, cane, walker, depends, they're not going to realize how severe this is, right? So durable medical equipment is very vital to put there. It could be oxygen tank. If they have diabetes, blood sugar, blood glucose monitor could be listed there. Handrails in bathroom. Anything that helps them is durable medical equipment. Current medical nursing needs. First and foremost, support with ADLs and IADLs. That's what we do. We go in, we set them up to hire an attendant. What does the attendant do? Supports them with activities of daily living and instrumental activities of daily living. After that, their fall risk. Observation to prevent destabilization because their medical needs are so high. Flight risk. Child will wander off down the street in front of a car. Unable to self-assess. Unable to communicate any medical needs. All of those are current medical nursing needs. List of medications. It's a character limit here. That's why you have an additional line for medications because there's only so much room on the 99. Hospitalizations, if there have been none, put none. Don't just skip it. Put something. You'll see their diagnoses here. This is the justification for excessive hours under the same roof or family member as an aide. Generally, on a brand new intake, this justification is pulled from the 99 from the nurse's assessment. You can add to this, absolutely add to this. Read it. Don't just skim through it because there's something there. It could say Mary is a 4-year-old little girl when Mary's now 10, right? It needs to be adjusted as you go. And then you click next, and we come up to the 99 itself. So the first thing you come up to is all of this information for your use, right? They have Aetna on a 30-day schedule. They're a CCC plus waiver. The attendance schedule is Monday through Sunday. Okay, so I know when I'm doing that 99, their schedule is 7 days. And they have 30 hours attendant care. Okay, I'll make note of that in my head. And all of this, if it were a client, would be populated over here. And this is a test person. But you can see the times that you've seen them, when their last 6-month visit was, so you'll know when the next 6-month visit will be. How many management trainings they've had. You'll know whether we can bill and you can get paid for a management training. If you forget which MCO has how many management trainings per year, this little I button will help you. Aetna, for example, management training, they have 6 units per year. Generally, you're going to see 4 units per year. Anthem is only 2, which really is not enough. But that's how you can determine that. And then you want to touch here before continuing. You touch here, and it brings you to your 99 that you're used to doing. with the correct date populated. Please choose your type of visit. 6 month. Whoops, it didn't take. Let's do it again. Hi, Gigi. 6 month. 6 month. Again, this is for payroll. This is for the 99 form. Your current health status. Help if I could type. Your visit notes. Attended an annual meeting. Management training. If they did do management training, this is a drop down. You can determine what's needed. Management training, if you're putting something there other than just a drop down, EOR requested. We can only bill and get paid for if the employer of record has requested management training. Complete the rest. If you come down here and you've forgotten, oh gosh, how many hours did they have? You're going to populate the hours. How many days per week was it? It was 7. Answer the questions. Please continue this status of this review by touching the Save button if you need to review it later or process. Let's say you're going to save this, and we're going to hit Save. And we're all done. The only reason you're going to hit Saved and not Process is if you want to go back home and tweak your visit notes. Right? All of those screens that you did before, that's etched in stone now for this review. So that has to be completed. But if you want to go home and tweak your visit notes, read them, look, check for spelling errors, elaborate on them that you didn't want to elaborate on while you're with the client, you just needed to get in and get out. That's what the Save is for, is so you can touch up your visit notes. And when you're finished with that, you can hit Process, Save, and you are ready to go. So we can hit the logo, go back, and you're ready to get there. If you want to go back and see that 99 so you can tweak those areas, hit Add a Session, Saved Reviews, DMAS 99, first name, last name. Now, at this point, you do not want to touch here before continuing because that's going to create a whole new review. You want to pull up the review that you just did so you can adjust your visit notes. Right here, you'll see your last review. Touch that date. You saw a little flash. Now you can move down and you'll see your visit is populated here. And you now can adjust your notes. So it's just as simple as that. Once you adjust them, obviously you hit Process, but you're all good to go. I hope that helps everybody.